table, very magic heavy, but we'll see. Again, this is a best of one, right, for the group stages, so we'll see this time around as we jump into the land of Dawn. Mirko, how are you feeling about the draft? Do you think this is a little overloaded on magic damage from Uzbekistan, or is it going to work?
Yeah, I think it's definitely overloaded with damage here. I think Renmar already brought a good point out, right? If they go for Radiant Armor first item, tough boots as well, it's really tough for Uzbekistan to get through some of these frontliners. What's good is the fact that they are up against a Gato-Kacha, something that should do well against physical, but against magical, you should be able to still burst them down, right?
Yeah.
The only concern for me now is the X-Borg, because now X-Borg is really the main physical damage dealer, or the main non-magic damage dealer in this team. If Indonesia get rid of the Faraga armor early on, win out the poke battle before the turtle, it's going to be really hard for Uzbekistan to deal damage. You can already see here in the mid lane, Vivian and Cine. Even though Gato-Kacha doesn't do too well against magic, you can see exactly how much pressure he has in the lane itself.
Yeah, you know, all she has to do is basically get the unbreakable taunt off. You know, for the most part, early game, Vivian doesn't have to do too much work. She did get a Revitalize out too from Yule. So, I mean, it'll be back up by the time they actually decide to fight, if they, you know, go aggressive on the first objective here. But so far, I think, yeah, the panel really broke things down with this. And one of the big aspects to this too is they're going to be so confident in the fact that they have this alpha in the hands of Vivil, and you can just roam around Vivian and Vivil all day if they want to. And, you know, if you get caught, it's going to be troublesome for you if you're Uzbekistan. So I think when you're talking about the process of this game, I'd love to see them try to contest, you know, the first couple objectives with the turtle come up and kind of check to see if they can actually go toe-to-toe with Indonesia, because like you said, eventually those defensive magic items are going to get picked up, and it's going to be that much harder. So I'd love to see Uzbekistan, for them to try to get this early lead if they can. It's already going to be started up, though.
It's really tough for Kana here. Goes up top, Fumieko just pops in a sprint, and it's going to be a free turtle over to Indonesia. Vival not even needing the retribution now. Ooh, Cine jumping in earlier. Hinata forced the armor back. Vival, very aggressive. And you can see the reason they picked up the Alpha together with the Lunox and the Gato-Kacha, right? Crazy mid-control, amazing prio in the mid lane, and fast-clearing jungle. Alpha clears out the jungle so much faster, and you could already see earlier, no ult for Kana, because they were able to invade so early on to stop that level 4 from hitting for Kana.
Yeah, that's what we always talk about when we're, you know, looking at timings and some of the early pressure that happens in the jungle especially. You know, those minor things really do delay getting those level 4s for that first turtle, and so far Indonesia, you know, they've mastered those timings at this point, so they had that upper hand, they had that advantage, and they worked to continue to put pressure.
Invading again into the enemy jungle. But I think one thing we can talk about, Naisu, is the question that the panel asked earlier, right? Bruno versus Harith, how does this lane look like? I'd say it's 50-50 until Bruno gets max stacks. Once you have the stacks on, Space Loves Us definitely going to be struggling here to go for trades around the map. And when it comes to sieging turrets, Bruno is a beast. You can see Chell already just chunking the entire turret down. Glorious pathway over to Vivian. He's able to chunk it out. Turtle Guard knocks City up, but has the brilliance to escape. And now, with the Spear of Alpha, this places of Kana just melts down to the damage of City Chell. And now it's an AOG all the way towards that turret. It's slowly the only one left standing here in the bottom lane.
Really tough. Gonna pop up some damage there, but slowly. You know, she couldn't do much but watch that fight, and even in that last fight, you know, Yule wasn't able to use that Revitalize that she had, but it all started with Indonesia just kind of cutting them off from that tier 1 turret. It allowed Chell to go ahead and get a bunch of extra gold, and then remember that fight was started up by Yule. Dropped the Glorious Pathway, they decided to fight, but unfortunately they got overloaded just from the damage from Indonesia's lineup, and so that's the preview that we're talking about. And you know, again, this isn't even with those magic resist items that we discussed earlier. So this turtle is going to come up here, and it looks like Uzbekistan, they actually want to fight this. They're going to go in.
Onward, and Earthshatter connecting on Fumieko. City's still going to be able to pre-hit though as a primal wrap will be used up. The Spear of Alpha onto the back there as Fumieko gets picked up, and City gets rid of Hinata. Meanwhile, the back line is going to be Space Loves Us looking for a flank, unfortunately. Good brilliance from Cine. Still a lot of damage placed down. Vival rotating outside of the Zaman force. Space Loves Us won't be able to get the reset. It's a win, only losing one member for Indonesia, and they continue with an invade. That's a Spear of Alpha. Kana, not even in her own jungle is she safe.
Kana's gonna have to just get forced out, and this is that momentum we were talking about that builds up so quickly. And, you know, even that last team fight, still wondering, you know, Uzbekistan, they wanted to fight it even after what happened down in the bottom lane. and you knew that they were going to be at a disadvantage. They fought anyway. And even with trying to outflank Indonesia, they couldn't find, you know, any kind of connection or kill that they were looking for. It's really tough here. Again, Glorious Pathway going to be dropped down.
The taunt over, not able to get the onward down, can purify out Shell. Still able to slide tackle out, Spear Valve, but now the comeback with the AOG. Taking 2 members back slowly, forced to flicker. City will flicker as well. Off angle to escape from the possible Eternal Guard. Another 3-for-0 trade.
Again, you know, I'm wondering that Glorious Pathway, sometimes it gets set down and you might not want to take the pathway because it's not going to be the victory right there in that team fight. And that was very, just kind of a preview again of the damage that's overloaded. You know, we've seen this Lunox now picked up a couple times, even back in the men's games. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But with the way that City is playing this and relying, even under the turret, you're able to just go ahead and shred down the damage. So Glorious Pathway dropped again.
Vivian doesn't have the AOG, might be caught. The Earth Shatter used up. Now the onward. All the displacements over to Vivian. Everything in the kitchen sink thrown at her, and she will fall. Chell, be careful here. Doesn't have to purify. We'll go head-to-head with Hinata using the Primal Wrath. Kana, ooh! Faraga armor just melted down completely, forcing out the last Insanity defensively. It's a Brilliance defensively too. Vivol takes away the purple, getting herself to a 2-level lead. Actually, she might hit a 3-level lead before the turtle spawns.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, eventually you get to this point where you are just really testing the limit, and that's what Indonesia is doing. You know, even fighting under and in between the Tier 2 and Tier 3 turret earlier on, they're going to go ahead and start this turtle. Uzbekistan, they've showed us they are willing to fight. A Glorious Pathway is there, but Turtle's claimed it. Kana's gone in an instant. She was so low already, even without the armor. A couple hits with that ball, it's, you know, she's gone, and now the Tier 1's in trouble in the mid.
Oh, AOG straight onto slowly. Hinata, great displacement with the onward, but the dive continues with the Brilliance. Tomi Echo might be in a tough spot here. Ula will be able to get a kill back, but in the bottom lane, they're just taking everything away from the enemy jungle. Orange buff down, Vivol stunned up, the Curse Blast will connect, but Vivol with the Queen's Wings, it doesn't even feel like this damage is damage anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good punish. Like, Uzbekistan is finding these, you know, little punishes when they can, when Indonesia goes and jumps in, you know, under the turrets even. And that might be what they need. These small little wins, get a couple kills, get some gold, maybe even shut down gold eventually, get that gold and the items in the right hands, and they might be able to stand a better chance when it comes to fighting. But you're seeing it right here. The gap between the jungle,
Hinata with a flick around will still be caught by the last shot from Cine as Chell deals with a turret down below. It is a Tier 2. Kana is looking for the counter play, looking for a trade on the map, but they're going to lose another Tier 1, possibly another Tier 2 here, Naisu.
This is where things get a little out of hand, you know, on the macro level, they get a little dicey. A massive jump again. They're going to go into the turret.
Purify out with a curtain call on her. She was kind of forced to just purify out. The turret wasn't taken up top, by the way. Not going to be a trade just yet as Vivol tries to cut off the lane here up top to prevent a push for a trade to happen.
Maybe that's why also the Gaunakacha is just so valuable right now. Even if you don't need a kill, the Avatar of the Guardian is enough pressure. Oh, they're going to fight again.
Brilliance again. Hinata going to be baited down. Spear Bubble connects onto Amula. Took the limits of it all, but will not be able to survive. It's a shutdown at least for Space Loves Us, but Fumieko just uses the yo-yo to get rid of Space Loves Us. Now it's Indonesia dashing forward. Chell looking for the kill in the base. Unstoppable. Chell is right now as we get to take a look at the items. Man, with a 9,000 gold lead, that's crazy.
And with that, I mean, she picked up the Malefic Gun before all that happened, so that little extra range also helping to cap out some of those kills. They're all going to result into this Lord being taken, secured now by Indonesia, furthering that gold lead, 10,000 up. And look at the damage. I mean, this is, I'm actually surprised, you know, we usually see the Lunox just shredding through, and she has been able to do that. But Shell has been popping off lately, and it all started again minutes ago on that bottom lane take. And this is going to be troublesome here. I think at this point too, man, it's hard to get any control, any space around your side of the jungle. And Vivol she's relentless. She doesn't let go of anything here. They're going to prep up for this push. Brilliant's going to be used. They're just checking things out. They're going to take every buff from Uzbekistan while Indonesia waits for this Lord to come through the mid. And mind you, those holy shields already popped earlier on too, at least in the mid lane. So this should be an easy turret take for Indonesia to get in the base of Uzbekistan. We'll see if they have enough. Again, if we look at the lineup, from Uzbekistan, is it enough to defend through this first Lord? Usually we do see that. They still have the Holy Shield on top, and I believe on the bottom, they're going to make work.
AOG already used by Vivian. No big resources just yet. Glorious Pathway by Yula, walking up with Chell. And with the Eternal Guard, I thought you were going to get a kill there, but it's actually going to be the Hylos who falls. Base Losas as well. Revitalize, getting all the HP back. As Hinata goes with the Primal Wrath, the Curse Blast doesn't connect out to Chill, and Vivian just walks up again. Hinata very low, comes in for the onward. Last Insanity, almost dealing enough damage to keep down, but City is surviving with just a sliver of HP. Only slowly. She needs to get a massive Curse Blast, but Indonesia will just continue to push into base, even without minion waves. Spear of Alpha inside of the base. No minions to end the game. They don't even need it.
It took a couple more, kicks of that ball from Shell, but man, they finally got the base down, even without the minions. But hey, Indonesia does the work. This is exactly what we were talking about.